Hey Brownie, how you doing? It's your not-so-old buddy, Kooky.
Don't know much about history.
If I listen to your lies, would you say I'm a man without conviction? I'm a man who doesn't know how to sell a contradiction.
I got a kick out of Old Fart's video, folks, Old Brownie, basically trying to say that the American Revolution had little to do with onerous taxes and government oppression. In fact, George Washington, James Madison, etc. were probably secretly fans of Obamacare. They were probably closet homosexuals too. And Old Fart, I urge you to watch his entire video because he goes on a meandering rant. I don't know, who knows where it was going. It was like a blind man at the steering wheel, and it was just all over the place, driving up in the yard, on the sidewalk. I mean, it was the most arduous 8 or 9 minutes I think I've ever had to listen to in my entire life. It was a pre-canned ham rant, though, which is even more amazing. But he'd never mentioned, and of course there's all his little factoids that he throws in there, and I've made this point before. It doesn't provide any references for him, so that's a shocker. If the American Revolution had nothing to do with government oppression, the Fourth Amendment was specifically put in the Constitution because the British thought they could search houses whenever they wanted. And the main event on this, Old Fart doesn't know his history very well, and this comes via Walter Olson over at Cato. And it talks about Repudiation Day, which most people don't know about, but this came even long before the Boston Tea Party. And of course, Old Fart's like, he's trying to make it say, oh, the founders, they would hate Walmart and Exxon Mobil, and they would hate all those businesses, and they wanted a 90% top tax rate, which is why in the Bill of Rights it says the rich shall be taxed at a rate of no less than 90%. Oh wait, it doesn't. Never mind. This is our lost holiday, Repudiation Day. The late Judge Edward Delaplane described the day, November 23rd, 1765, as a landmark event when the immortal 12 judges of Frederick County Court were the first jurists in America to repudiate the Stamp Act, which the British Parliament had imposed on the 13 colonies. The judges' protest against onerous British taxation came, by the way, a decade before the famous Boston Tea Party, which has gotten the lion's share of the historians' attention over the years. Watching Brownie's video kind of makes me think of it puts the lotion on its skin. At one time, a couple of centuries ago, the day was considered so significant that the Maryland General Assembly declared it a bank holiday. The townsfolk, as well as others in the colonies, were outraged when the British passed the infamous Stamp Act, taxing deeds and mortgages and a lot of other items. Even liquor licenses required a payment for each transaction. Call it what you like, a fee or a tax or maybe a mandate. The colonists not only objected to taxation without representation, but also were not overjoyed that the money would go to support the oppressive British occupation. In September 1765, the British designated a hapless Annapolis businessman, Zechariah Hood, to distribute tax stamps in Maryland and collect the levy. A mob burned down the businessman's house and hung him in effigy. He hopped the next boat out of town. A couple of months later, the Frederick County Court went into session, ordering all colonial officials to forget about charging for any British stamps. How's that for civil disobedience, old man? In other words, forget about the tax. The judge's declaration was seen as the first act of colonial jurists defying the British. In fact, there are those who argue it was actually one of the first acts of the American Revolution itself. This version of the tax was repealed by the British the following year. So, when this fossil is talking about, we're coming for you, a lot of big boy talk while hiding behind a monitor, sitting behind a monitor, we're coming for you. Well, they came for Zachariah Hood, and guess what? He got out of town, and the tax was repealed. So there's a little history lesson for you, old man. And unlike you, I've got the references underneath the video. Have a nice day, and don't thank me now.